Hey everyone, Jason here with Phase Shift Games. I have with me the final prototype copy of Drop Drive. So, this is going to be a three-part video series. This video, part one, is going to be unboxing the prototype so you can see everything that our previewers and other people are going to see. Video two, part two, will be doing a full setup of the game using the prototype, and video three will be a full playthrough of the game using the prototype. So without further ado, let's unbox and show you everything that is in the Drop Drive prototype box. Okay, right off the bat, at the top of the box, we have a whole bunch of credit tokens. I'm gonna dump them out on the table here. Basically, these are, here's the ones. We got ones, fives, hopefully they're the right way for you to see, and tens. So these are simple cardboard tokens for now. In the final version of the game, these are going to be cut to outline with the design there. And of course, the deluxe will probably have metal tokens for space bucks because everyone loves that. But there's a whole bunch of these in the prototype. Different prototypes will include either enough for 4 players if I know you're going to play a full 4-player game. Otherwise, they might be a less amount of those. But there's a pile of these space buck tokens, and they are going to make a pile over on the side of the table. All right, moving on. Next up inside the box, we have this bag of goodies right here. All right, so in here, these are basically your individual player components. So there is a sun, and I'll get back to the sun in a minute, but this is what's going to be placed in the middle of the table. There are Drop Drive charge tokens. So that's the charged side. That's the depleted side. Every player gets one of these. There's 6 of them. 4 for the players, and then 2 extras for ship upgrades. There are 4 dice in each of the player colors, one of each of the player colors, and those match the rocket ships, which are basically the player ships in the prototype version of the game. They're these plastic rockets. These are not what we'll use in the final version of the game, but for the prototype, that's what they are. In the final version, they're going to be like heat printed wooden discs that are hexagonal in shape with heat printing on both sides. But for the prototype, they're these plastic rockets. And you have a die that matches the color, and the die is your battle die when you're battling pirates. Speaking of pirates, in that same bag are these plastic pirate ships, one of each of the 5 colors in the game that match the 5 planet colors. All right. So there's those. And that was in that little baggie. The next bag is a set of cubes. These are very simple gray wooden cubes, and these are market demand tokens. These are going to get placed on the planets as players go to the planets and sell asteroids. These identify how the market fluctuates from one player to the next on the different planets. So put those over to the side. All right, then we get this bag of goodies. This is basically the bag of stuff that gets dropped into space, drops into the solar system. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Let's dump it all out, and we'll show you what's in this bag. But these are all the things that you're going to pick up at the beginning of the game, and it's like a big bang. You drop them over the sun, they spread out, and they form your unique solar system. So first off, we have these giant cubes in those 5 main colors, and these are the planets. So in the final version of the game, these will probably be 12-sided instead of 6-sided so that they're a little more spherical. But for the prototype, these are the planets. They get dropped into space like everything else, and your ships can traverse space and move from planet to planet. Then we have a whole bunch of crystals. So these are, hopefully you can see them there in my hand, but these are standard crystal shape. And there's the 5 different colors again, one for each of the planet types. And basically these are asteroids in space that you can you can have your ship navigate to these asteroids and mine them for the precious ores and gases and stuff that are inside the asteroid. Then you take this crystal and you put it in your cargo hold and you move off to the planet that you want to sell them at. So there's a whole bunch of these, and those will be dropped in space along with the planets. Then there are these like I-beam looking components. These are space salvage. They can also be collected and put into your hold, and then you bring them to a planet to identify them. So there's a bunch of those. And lastly in that bag are these fuel canisters. So once again, you can pick these up when you traverse space and you run across one of these. You can put them in your hold, and they give you more chances to refresh your drop drive, which is the token I showed you earlier. So if you use your drop drive on the depleted side, you flip it to the face up side. All right, so that is all of that. What's next? All right, next up is this small bag. Now, again, in the prototype, we won't give you as many of these as would be in the final version of the game because we just have limited supplies. But these are the all-important navigation tool links. So this is a specially manufactured piece that we've designed that's unique to this game. Basically, you get a whole bunch of these, and you have a drop drive rating and a rocket drive rating. And let's say your rocket drive rating is 4. You're going to take 4 of these pieces and you're going to snap them together. That's 2, and that's 3, and that is 4. And now I have a link of 4 of these, and this is the navigation tool. So you can bend this and contort this so that your path, your flight path in space, your rocket ship's on one end, and it's going to move and collect everything underneath and then go to the other side. So this navigation tool is something that's super unique to our game that we've custom manufactured and designed just for this game. There's also a couple special pieces, which is this one here. It's an end piece. It connects in to these other pieces. You snap it in just like the others, but now nothing can go on the other end. It's like it just finishes the nav link or the nav tool so that there's one beginning and one end. And that is it. So there's a bunch of those for the nav tool. And that takes us to what's left is a bunch of cards and tiles. So let's go through these. First off, we have half-size cards, and these are essentially the Explore deck. So there's 3 different types of cards in the Explore deck. We have specimens, like that one, and that one. So those are specimens. Then we have ship upgrades, like that one. And finally, we have passengers, like that one. All right, so there's 3 different types of cards in there. Now, one note on the passengers. There's another passenger, different culture. But one note for the prototype. You'll notice that, so here's a case where I have 2 of the same image. In fact, they're sketches. They're not even final artwork. And there's even, like this one is just line art. The passengers were the last bit of artwork that we were working on. So some of the cards in here, specifically the passengers, will not be final artwork yet. All right, that's the Explore deck. Then we have large cards, and they're split into 2 halves. So we have ship fronts and ship backs. And so here are the ship fronts. The artwork on these is completely final, and we are in love with it. So there's a bunch of those ship front cards. And then we have the ship backs. I am doing the camera right. There we go. All right, so those are the ship fronts and backs. And then the last bit in here are the planet tiles. So these are punchboard tiles. So here's the Yeshin's homeworld crown. And on the back is a alternate version of the Yeshin's planet. And this is like an edge world. And so you can mix and match whether you're using all home worlds or you're using 3 home worlds or 2 home worlds and 3 edge worlds. There's different ways to play the game. For the first game, we recommend people use just the home worlds. These go to the side of the board. And like I said earlier, the markets on these, this is where you use the market demand cubes. You place them on the market spaces, and it denotes how well the market's doing. And of course, also on this side over here is all the pirate information for that planet. And so you have the pirate ship, and at the beginning of the game, it gets placed on the pirate spot there on the planet tile. More of that will come in the how to play video and the setup video, but that is it. That's the unboxing of the prototype for Drop Drive. The components are beautiful. Of course, the final versions of some of these components will be enhanced from the prototype. The sun, for example, is actually going to be a three-dimensional, like a wooden sphere that's been cut off, towards the top, like the top third of a sphere, so that it's got this rounded edge to it. When you drop everything on the sun, it forces everything to spread out in a nice circle. So whereas here it's just a tile. For the sake of prototype, that's fine, but we have much better plans in the works. Oh yeah, one last thing that will be included in the prototype boxes. Now, this doesn't fit in this box because it's too big, but the package will come with a set of walls. So just like Dungeon Drop has these walls that open up and you drop them on the table, you're going to get a set of these. They're painted black, because they're space. Eventually, the final versions will have painted nebula and gases and planets and stars and stuff like that. And the final version of the game itself will include a set of walls inside the box. Now, they're going to be cardstock, and they're going to fold up to fit inside the box. So those will be in the final version of the game. But for the prototypes that we're sending around, we're going to have these punchboard versions or bigger versions that we're sending out along with the game, so you have something nice that you can set up. And I think that is it for the prototype. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.